It's here, it's here, it's here. I got this for half price. Damaged package from Amazon. Two of my favorite YouTubers. All right, let's have some coffee. Shop coffee, nothing's better. A jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and thou. That's part of a poem. Alrighty. This is the Texas Rumble with a super shiny level 10 shiny. It dried overnight. I actually had it in front of the heater. So now, today, as soon as I finish with my shop coffee and pet my shop dog, we are going to shape this. This is the part I like the most. It's also the part that's a little bit scary. And the reason is, by the time you get a knife this far to the handle shaping, you have put some time in on that knife. And there's another thing I've decided to start doing. I made a knife for Jeff. And the knife looks good, looks great. All except for one thing. Right here, there's a gap. And what I've been doing is stopping the epoxy right about here so it wouldn't squeeze out the front. But the trade-off is, in this area, it's not glued to the knife. If you clamp it really hard up here and stop the epoxy about a ½ inch from the end, it's usually okay. But it wasn't on that one. I didn't clamp it hard on the end. I clamped it here. And so it ended up with a gap. And I sent him an email telling him, and hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Good God. Telling him that I could do one of two things. I could cut the pins off, the handles off, and start over, or I could sell that knife to him as is for $75. And he decided to take it as is. It's not terrible, but it is something that you notice almost immediately. And it looks a bit amateurish, and it's beneath my skill level, which is still not expert in any way, but it's like a year ago Brad would make those kind of mistakes. And I hate letting it go looking like that, but I've got 4 other knives behind this one that I got to get to making. So I'm going to go ahead and sell it to him for half price. And down the road, if he wants another knife that doesn't have that gap in it, I'll make him another knife and I'll give him a heck of a good price on it too. So, that being said, let me shut my mouth, or actually open my mouth and put some coffee in it. And then I'll get to sanding on them handles there. All right. I've got the corners knocked off. I know it doesn't look like much looking at it, but here's what I do. I try to get the nose, each side of this handle, I call it the nose of the handle. I don't know what else to call it, but I try to get them looking identical. And then I try to get the unsanded part on either side of the, I'm going to call it the spine or the metal in the handle. I don't know the proper terminology, I'm sorry. But I try to get that equal and have the same angles on each side. And I do that with a belt grinder, belt sander. Same thing with this. Now, I've got it basically what I call roughed in. Some of that might be a plumber's term when you rough in plumbing. But now I do the rest by hand. I usually go a little bit further than this with the belt grinder. And actually, I may do one step further. I'm going to put it on the 1x42. That's a 120 worn out bit. And basically what it does is just help me take some of the horizontal grinding lines off of this, so I can get right to my hand sanding quicker without having to spend a lot of time sanding the grinding lines out. So I'm going to do that next, and then I'm going to get to hand sanding. And about halfway to what I want this to look like, I'll stop and show you, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, I have this sanded exactly like I want it. The shape I want it to be. The feel. God, I love making these handles, I'll tell you. And here, there's something right here. What is that? I can rub that out. But at this point, I'm not taking any meat off. All I'm doing, I mean, some meat is going to come off, but my goal is to sand out the previous grit's scratches up to, about 800 or 1,000. And then I'm going to put this on the buffer and see what it looks like. In the meantime, as I go up in grits, I'm going to take my little drum sander there and bring these spines up in the same grit. So when I do put this on the buffer, I can get this to shine like the blade. All right, I'm going to, this is 320. I'm fixing to sand out the scratches with some 320 now. And I may actually get to buffing this today. All right, this is at 800 right now. And I'm fixing to go to 1,000. I'm going to take this up to 1,200. And I've been thinking about this while I've been sanding, because while you're sanding, there's lots of time to think. On the leftover piece that I have cut off, I'm going to sand this and buff it and see what this looks like, because I don't want to risk screwing this up at this point after this amount of time and effort. I don't want to just go throw it on a buffer not having ever buffed wood before. So I'm going to experiment with that piece that I cut off from here. But oh man, this is looking so nice. If I don't screw this up, this is going to be the nicest knife I have ever made. I'm very proud of how this is turning out. A lot of work, but very enjoyable and satisfying. Everything's looking good. I hope that doesn't sound like I'm bragging. I'm just really pumped with my improvement. That's all. And no matter how good you are, no matter how good you get at this, there's still, you can always improve. Okay, I'm going to get a cup of shop coffee and get my hands a rest, and then I'm going to go from 1,000 to 1,200. And in the meantime, I'm going to watch a couple videos about buffing stabilized wood to see how other people do it. If there's any special secrets or techniques that might help me do not screw this up or screw my practice piece up. Okay, I'm going to do it. I've sanded this up to 1,500. That is some truly beautiful wood. And here is the scrap piece. Now, I sanded this to 120. All I did was go to that belt, which is a worn out 120, and sand the cut marks from this saw out of it. And then I put it on the buffer, and that's what it looks like, just not taking any real care. So I think this is going to look booty-miss. I'm fixing to go do it. See you in a bit. Wish me luck. I know this may sound weird, but I'm so excited that my hands are shaking. My heart is pounding. This looks like freaking glass. Isn't that amazing? I never in my wildest dreams could imagine wood looking that good. I am just shocked. And truly, it was easy. You know, I've got a lot of experience on the buffer, but never buffing wood, stabilized wood. Absolutely beautiful. I don't want to sell this now. Well, I'll tell you what, this is officially the nicest knife I've ever made, and I really wanted this to be. Boy, I'll tell you, I spent a lot of money on this wood, and I'll tell you, good wood is worth its money. I'm just pumped. And the rest of the knife is looking great. I'll tell you where I'm at now. This is it. Got nothing else to do except make a sheath and put an edge on it. And I have Jeff's caddo in the house. I'm going to sand it lightly and put one more coat of true oil on it. And tomorrow I'll make a sheath for his knife and Steve's knife and get them cleaned up. And I doubt I could ship on Friday, probably Monday, because it is really wet and it takes a long time for the leather to dry. And I'm not shipping another knife wet like I've done before. My goodness. I am so proud of myself. I hope this doesn't sound bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm just really happy with how good this come out. And I didn't know I had it in me, to tell you the truth. I've worked very, very hard to improve my knife making skills, and this is it. This is the pinnacle. This is the best I've done so far. I'm really proud of that. Okay, I'll shut up about it. And maybe it's a coffee too. I've had like 6 cups of coffee today, so. Okay, I have 4 knives cut out. 3 of them are dinner skinners that I got to get out pretty quick. So I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to wrap it up in a towel so I don't do anything to it. And the rest of the day, I'm going to be getting those out. And I've got them cut out. I got the handles picked out. I got the pins cut. Now I need to lay out the holes in the handle for the pin holes. And probably... No, I won't do that today because my hands are shaking. I'm just too excited about this knife. I was thinking I might grind the bevels on them, but I better not. That takes a real steady hand, and I think I will probably do that. Start on them Friday. I still got time. So, okay, that's it for today. I'm going to upload this video, and just because I really want everybody to see this stupid handle, how nice it come out. And you saw this knife yesterday, how shiny it was. So, okay, I'll see you tomorrow.